TY, Scarlett, SpeCial, DRG. African TV Playground Studio Live 2020 GSL Season 2 CODES The Coming Storm.
Welcome back, everybody. Now we have the two foreigners, the only two foreigners that made it to the round of 16 in the first elimination match of Group A. I mean, this is, I'm sorry, of all of round of 16. I mean, this is crazy. We're going to get rid of one of the foreigners, and then that person has to go up against TY. It is likely to be eliminated there as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough climb right now. I think that against TY, the thing is he's the best TVT out there. So does Scarlett have a better chance than SpeCial?
I don't know.
Even know.
Scarlett has a very different ZVT than DRG as well.
Yes,
but, you know, Scarlett
I would say so.
Scarlett looks strong. I feel like SpeCial, it's like maybe, I don't know, it's 70-30, odds or something like that. Like SpeCial could beat TY, but
yeah, it's
hard.
possible. It's
Yeah.
possible. Yeah, I'm not sure how this one's gonna go. Like SpeCial didn't look unbeatable. He did look good though. I felt like he looked good against DRG.
This is the most NA match we've ever casted in GSL. Mexican versus Canadian with two American casters. Oh,
It's a sandwich.
It's a sandwich right now. This is just madness. This is going to be the most NA representation you've ever had here in Korea.
Yeah.
Let's
It
do
really
this.
is.
SpeCial versus Scarlett. The loser is the first to be out of the round of 16. Let's go.
한번 시작해볼까? SpeCial 후안 로페스. 브레이브스타 게이밍 스칼렛, 사샤 호스팅.
Well, Artosis, we're finally here. We all know, everyone knows the great rivalry of Canada and Mexico.
I know.
I mean, how many times have people said, well, thank God there's at least America in between these two countries?
It's, yeah.
And
they would be at war all the time.
all the time.
For sure. And the thing is, they're just like, Canada's like, oh, look at me, I'm the best hat America has. And Mexico's like, look at us, we're the best pants
We're
that
the
they
pants.
have. And it's like, guys, don't fight. You're an excellent hat and you're excellent pants, all right?
That's right.
Gosh.
I don't even know who I want to have win this right now. The two foreigners? What?
Yeah.
This is wrong.
It's wrong.
This is wrong.
They shouldn't be playing each other.
I mean, this is like a match with two great gladiators. But then next, TY is the lion that comes out that might eat one of them.
Yeah, you got to be like a sick gladiator to beat the lion.
Yeah.
And that's here's the tricky part about that, right? Because everyone knows that the net and trident is terrible in gladiatorial fights, but
Yes.
if you can beat your opponent with that, you have a much better chance against the lion.
Yeah, net and trident is probably the weapon you want.
Against the lion,
Against the lion,
yes.
yeah, absolutely.
But the sword?
You don't want the warhammer against the lion.
Oh,
Imagine
geez,
that. Oh,
no.
boy.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Waste of time. Drop that on your own head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's a good point, Artosis.
I know.
Now, today, SpeCial's games are kind of funny. By the way, it's continuing on with the trend of just ZVT today.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
We're still on all Starship
That
Troopers
means
right
that
now.
Scarlett's going to win.
I think so.
Damn.
Because I see patterns
All
where
right.
they're not. Yeah, I mean, I actually don't know who wins with these two. I feel like maybe SpeCial just a little bit, but Scarlett's so clutch that it's hard to call. Like,
Yeah.
that game she played against TY was so good.
Yeah, I think if she if nothing really terrible happens to her, and she can get the 4th base up, right? And the 4th base does not die right before she can hold it. That seems to be the area in which I think Scarlett struggles sometimes in this matchup. And to be fair, that's oftentimes the case. It's like,
that's
how
usually
do you
the soft spot
robustly
in the
take the
matchup.
4th base?
Yeah.
And the thing is, that's where we see her lose a lot of games, is right there. Like, she'll lose the 4th.
Yeah. You know, there's a whole art to cutting corners, but also being ready, you know, for the push that's going to come here.
Mm-hmm.
This game, we have a couple of Hellions coming out here for TY, but nothing. I'm sorry, for SpeCial, but nothing unusual, I guess you could say.
Yeah, the Raven is not super common. I heard people with the patch with the creep tumors becoming light. People were saying maybe we'll see more Ravens popping out.
Kind of like it's a science vessel to spot here and just
kind of
clear creep out.
Yeah, detect.
Use the extra money for the extra energy for mules.
Yeah, you can kill them pretty quickly with those Hellions. So maybe that's what we're going to see. Maybe it'll just be auto turret harassment though too.
Here comes that the Raven now. Looks like TY is going to try to set up to hit a couple different locations at once. Maybe an auto turret up here, and then the Hellions try to run it somewhere else.
All right, only gets 1 drone, but some lost mining time.
Yeah, it doesn't look like... Okay, so you see the tactic that was the setup there. He was going to try to catch that line.
I like the idea. Didn't quite work, but if it did...
Oh, hold on. Oh, no. Okay, looks like there's just enough damage being dealt that TY decides to back up.
SpeCial even.
SpeCial. Why do I keep saying TY? I'm so on TY right now. Yeah, SpeCial decides to back up. Sorry. Now, SpeCial, this game is going for Stim.
Yeah, it's not going to be a mech type play from him this time. All right, another auto turret goes down. Hey, look at this. We're starting to get some drone kills. 4 drones going down.
And here it looks like, yeah, just enough queens. You don't want to mess around with this. And this is not bad at all here. I mean, the Raven, it doesn't look like it's going to get picked off anytime soon. We have a good number of drones that just keep getting killed over and over and over again.
The upgrades are lined up really well here also. Should be seeing Scarlett thinking about a 4th base relatively soon. Few roaches being made. I wonder if this is just to help zone out those Hellions a little bit more. The Hellions have been pretty relentless.
Yeah, it's been mostly the queens that are having to try to shoo that away.
Yeah. It's interesting to see them, though. You don't see that as often, the roaches mixed in.
Yeah, and you can see the Raven. I mean, you know, it's not that expensive to get an auto turret out here. So every time it's thrown down here, you're going to get 1 or 2 drones.
Yeah, it's doing really well.
I mean, you're basically spending energy to kill off workers. That's the best deal you can really ask for.
That's the name of the game, isn't it? Use free stuff to kill stuff that's not free.
Yeah, or StarCraft 2, but
yeah.
Yeah, that was really well done there. You can see these Ravens are really paying for themselves right now. And, you know, with no investment in Aspire, this is just going to keep going.
But it looks like Scarlett set up a spine. There are a few spores out there as well. Some more roaches being made, which I find this kind of interesting to see the roaches thrown in.
She might be pretty uncomfortable here against the idea of like a push just like this one coming up. You know, with the
use the roaches to maybe tank some of the Hellion hits or something like this.
I think so. I mean, Lings alone, it's you get a bad angle and you just lose the fight. 1-1, staggered, but it will finish here for SpeCial.
Yeah, Scarlett's is finishing up as well, about 10 seconds later. Man, these auto turrets.
Yeah, how annoying,
just are
right?
non-stop. All right, let's see, some Ravagers out right now. So it's just turned the... Oh, you know what? I know what's going on now. This is kind of interesting. A very much older style to see Lingbane Ravager. When Legacy of the Void first came out, this was really popular, but it went into Ultra quickly on 3 to 4 base instead of guaranteed 4. But either way, I believe the reason the Ravagers are out is because generally you're going to see a siege tank push come up, which is something that can be rather hard for the Ling Bane to deal with. Especially if it comes before that Baneling speed.
How many auto turrets have we had cast here?
Has to be
Like
6 or 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. 7 or 8 now, maybe? It's a lot.
I mean, each time they're getting at least 1 to 2 drones.
They've been super worthwhile.
Yeah. Now here comes that push. Is Scarlett actually prepared? I don't... Okay, here we get a shot of her actual army.
Okay.
Ravagers are spread out. I actually think SpeCial just has too much.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of the most straightforward losses.
Yeah, the Baneling's just not really connecting. Oh,
the harass
man.
was just too good, and SpeCial's push just wins the game. I mean, that's all there is to it.
Yeah. That's exactly what we're looking at here. Scarlett trying to get her army together here to hold on.
Maybe she'll be able to outlast this, but I do worry. Oh, no, what am I saying? There's way too much down there.
Yeah, I know. Well, this is
GG.
The thing is, if she can make it past this point, she's a phenomenal macro player. It's just holding on against this type of push is so tough. And I like that she tried to utilize some Ravagers that then kill her own hatchery, but
yeah,
they don't quite do the job that she was looking for.
We are going to be going to game 2 now. I mean, there's just no way to recover from this. Even with his siege tank position pretty far out, it doesn't matter. GG SpeCial takes game 1. Let's see if Scarlett can play a little bit better in game 2. But that was a good strategy. I mean, from A to Z, he basically... I mean, SpeCial did exactly what he wanted to do. He chucked down auto turrets, killed a lot of drones. Scarlett was not doing a bad job of defending. You know, one feature about the auto turret ability is it comes out, like, immediately. And then it can kill a drone literally before the drone can run away.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So it's like, you are
basically
getting
always getting value with it.
Yeah.
It was a cool strategy, and the fact that Scarlett didn't have the Spire, like you said, there's not much of a way to get rid of those.
Yeah, you're just going to be like...
SpeCial has to mess up.
You get beaten up over and over and over, and then this sets up very nicely for that push, which we saw was the killing blow.
Yeah. Well done by SpeCial.
Ice and Crow. Our coldest map.
Is it our coldest map?
I think so.
You're probably right about this.
Yeah.
Though we don't really know at what latitude Submarine is at.
Submarine?
Submarine.
Well, guys, Scarlett has to win here, or she is the first player to be eliminated from the round of 16. Our game is loaded up. This is game 2. Let's go.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해 볼까?
Foreigner versus foreigner. Meet me in Itaewon.
SpeCial 후안 로페스.
Is this WCSNA?
브레이브스타 게이밍 스칼렛. 사샤 호스틴.
Well, that being said, while Mexico is definitely part of North America, not in the WCS or EPT system. It's part of LATAM then.
But for the sake of North America,
yeah,
we've all come together.
That's right, yeah.
Take that, other continents.
Yeah, the curtains aren't even good, man. So, this is kind of an interesting opener, right?
Sure.
She's ready for any possible, like, marine rushes with that pull first. I wonder, like, is this going to have some aggression built into it where you know, there's all sorts of builds. Like, if you don't do the SCV scout against this, okay, well, SCV scout's coming, so never mind. It's a very quick queen coming out. But yeah, sometimes you can run some lings around the Reaper as it comes out and really annoy that natural command center, slow it down quite a bit, kind of make things tough for your opponent. Obviously, you're losing a little bit by not going hatch first, but I think Scarlett does well with this type of build as well.
Again, this is our fourth Terran versus Zerg. If SpeCial wins here, we will have a Terran versus Terran with SpeCial versus TY. quick reminder here that, TY in the group selection video was very frustrated, very angry with SpeCial.
Yes, indeed.
So this will be great to see them battle
Yeah.
if we do end up getting that. But Scarlett versus TY will also be an amazing match. So we have the Reaper here in the main. Again, we've seen this a million times, but it looks like this time it might end up actually getting a kill.
Yeah,
Oh!
it's a little bit different this time, of course, because it's not a hatchery first type play.
Right.
So I think the second queen a little bit slower here. Pushes it back, doesn't really lose anything, but it was annoying.
Now this time around, I don't know what SpeCial has in store. I know he has like a lot of different builds that he can use, so I'm not sure what to expect really. I do think the most important part of this game is going to be basically whether or not Scarlett is fine on the fourth base. I mean, you've mentioned this in the previous game, but I think it's completely true, is that if she does lose this matchup, it's usually because of some kind of timing attack.
Yeah.
It does seem like she dies a little bit more to timing attacks than some of the other top Zergs, but she also seems like she has some of the best late game if she gets there.
Yeah.
And some of you might be asking yourselves, why would that be the case? So, good macro players are masters at cutting corners and finding shortcuts in their play. But the problem is that that's when you end up dying to a push sometimes, because you're trying to eke out an economic advantage, and a very sharp Terran can kind of come in there and hit you in these very small windows of time where you just don't quite have enough.
Yeah, and the thing is, there's like a big range to how you can play against that. I would say a lot of the times, especially in Cyril's past domination, you look at his play, and I would say that that's the middle line. That's like how you would want to do it, right? And it's very difficult to straddle that perfectly. But then you have players like Scarlett who will sometimes die a little bit more often to that attack. And then you have players, but she'll be in a good position if she gets past there. And then you have players like Dark, where you are never gonna get that fourth base. It might not even be there yet.
It's so true. There's
and
so
then
many
he'll
games where
just get from slightly behind in the late game. He'll fight back.
Yeah, that's such a true point there. Yeah, Dark never loses to a push.
Not like that generally.
No.
Even if you kill drones and stuff, he's like, nah, I can play from here. But yeah, very different styles. It's part of the beauty of StarCraft. If everything looked the same, it would be a terrible game.
Yeah. Don't know about this landed Viking here, but
yeah,
there are Hellions coming in here. I think this was a little bit mistimed here. The Viking probably should have landed a little bit later, but 2 drones are killed. Now, at this point in time, SpeCial can't turn around here, so he's going to have to try to get whatever damage he can get. Some of those Hellions getting stuck there. A Liberator here as well. Wow!
Wow, yeah, the Liberator doing some real work. Look at that, getting quite a few drones. Still a Hellion left alive. All right, 11 drones end up falling, so that was pretty significant. That was really good.
Yeah, great play there. Let's see if he can get one more. It looks like he will. Oh,
2 more?
No!
Ooh.
13 kills, and Stim is done. When Stim is done, the Terran can start to look for an actual fight. Now, think of how this all sets up. I mean, you kill those workers. Scarlett has to remake them. Those remade workers are not attacking units, which, of course, allows the Terran to have perhaps a stronger push, depending on how well it's controlled. But Scarlett has not remade all workers right now. She's instead making Mutalisks and actually making some Overlords, possibly to make some even more Mutalisks here. And I wonder if there's a possibility that she is hoping to set up to intercept the next attack.
Yeah. I think the Mutas have some chance of getting her back into a better position, but as of right now, it does look very, very good for SpeCial. I'm afraid that she doesn't have the evolution chambers going, right? We're halfway through 1-1 for SpeCial.
Yeah, it doesn't appear that she has anything set up to be in a healthy position if the game is very long.
She's not even going to have Baneling speed when 1-1 is done. So that's a bit scary, right?
These turrets are pretty perfectly placed. There's basically nowhere in the center of the Terran's main that you can do any damage. You can see Scarlett's going to try to damage this refinery, but, I mean, that'll just be repaired, even losing one Muta.
Yeah, good targeting there from SpeCial.
And now, I'm really racking my brain to figure out, okay, well, we see the 2 Evo chambers here being made now. So Scarlett's just playing from a losing position here. If this is a race, SpeCial is definitely in the lead, and it's just hard to imagine how exactly Scarlett can catch up to SpeCial.
Well, she has to. Every time we see the mutas getting caught, it's so painful. You know, she took a lot of damage early on. So she's in this position where her Zerglings and mutas must keep SpeCial back, because if he hits his normal push coming up, like, it's painful, right? She's down 2 upgrades. Baneling's speed is like a third the way done. I feel like if SpeCial moves out right now, could be lights out.
Yeah, this is hard to imagine just on paper when you look at this how exactly Scarlett is going to safely survive into a very, very late game. I think if we can get into a late game, maybe she has a shot, but, you know, especially with the upgrade advantage right now from SpeCial, it's just, you know, it's hard to figure.
But you know what? We have Baneling's speed coming to a close here.
Sure.
SpeCial actually did not start 2-2. Which is
weird.
Like, it must just be a mistake, right?
Yeah, I don't.
And yeah, he's making another command center, so it's either a mistake or he's switching into mech. There's only a second factory. You'd see more factories on the way, right? So I think he's actually just made a blunder here, and this is actually something that could allow Scarlett to catch up.
Yeah.
Right? Like, when you're playing Ling Bane Muta, upgrades are very, very important. Because you can't expect your Banes to just all connect. I mean, if they did, you'd never need upgrades. Yeah, look, he just started 2-2, so there's going to be a much smaller window of upgrades being ahead for him.
Scarlett has paused the game.
Okay.
I'll see if we can find out why.
Probably checking, like, are Marines supposed to be able to do that much damage that quickly?
Okay. Yeah, I think your point is completely correct. I mean, Scarlett is about 13 seconds out from having.
Yeah, so there's only going to, if she starts 2-2 right away, instead of having this minute-plus window of 2 upgrade advantage for SpeCial, it's going to be like a 20-second window. A 30-second window, maybe.
Which is enough. If you're behind in upgrades, that's enough time to usually try to avoid a fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Drag out the engagement.
You can slow things down by 30 seconds.
Okay. I've been informed that Scarlett was having some problems with her mouse. Her cable was tangled, so she wanted to untangle that, and I believe we're already there. So we're going to be hopping back into this game. Both players are confirming that they're ready. Countdown restarted. And we're going to hop back in the game. Anyways, we have Terran, SpeCial right now, roaming on the map. Scarlett's creep spread is very good, by the way.
Yeah, her creep spread is on point for sure. 2-2 has started. She's getting her Ling Bane up. She's at 73 drones. And look at the supplies, right? That's like 89 supply of Ling Bane Muta with just a small amount of Ravagers in there. That's legitimate supply. You know, each Ling and Bane is half a supply, so she's got a fighting army now. She's got a good economy. She's got good creep spread, as you mentioned. Wow. Doesn't it? It does feel to me, though, that SpeCial may have missed a window here in this game.
Yeah, well, I mean,
where
this
Scarlett
happens.
was not so strong.
You know, especially when you hear pros cast, they'll always talk about, oh, well, they made this mistake and now the game's over, right? Because pros have to view the game as if it was played perfectly.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen a lot. And so in this situation,
certainly.
I mean, I think SpeCial did get the lead here, but, you know, he's not a supercomputer. He did miss the upgrades, and maybe this is going to balance out here where Scarlett, I wouldn't say gets ahead from this, but it's more ambiguous who's really in the lead. Now, SpeCial's going to set up the pushes out here. And again, it's not just about upgrades. It's also about engagements. And catches like this are a pretty big deal.
Ooh, some good damage on those medevacs there.
So there's going to be Liberators coming in here at the center right to try to draw some attention away. As SpeCial's going to try to really push his way through this huge area in the middle. I don't know about Scarlett's control there.
I thought that was actually pretty good with the Biles actually hit some of those. A few Banelings actually getting some connections as well. I think she's doing a good job of slowing that down, but the Liberators going to work. Look at this. Oh, no.
What?
Oh,
What?
no.
What?
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no.
Oh, this means
That was
she
an
assumes
F2.
that it's been killed.
That was an F2 right there.
Oh my
Pulls
God,
the mutas
15.
away, loses so many more. She lost like 8 more drones because of that. Painful.
All right, this setup over here with the tanks on the high ground, pretty nice.
Ooh, hits Medivacs once again.
Doesn't seem like everything is being controlled ideally here. The Thor is the real anti-muta weapon. It's preventing these mutas from just getting in there and tearing up those tanks.
Yeah.
But Scarlett, she may still be able to land on her feet here.
Yeah, her creep spread still looks good. This army is like way up there right now. I wouldn't be too afraid of it as Scarlett, to be perfectly honest. Like, she can mass up and kill that army if she needs to. It's coming down, putting the pressure on. But she's actually down here with the mutas. Doing a bit of harassment, but she's not going to save that hatchery. That's interesting.
Yeah, she might have just decided to sack it. I mean,
Well, she's
the
expanded the
position,
bottom right, so I guess so.
Yeah, well, also these mutas can come through and do a lot of damage, and you can kind of see that, you know, for the position that SpeCial's earned doesn't have a whole lot of benefits. Also, those mutas seem to have. Well, hold on, we have another drop coming in over here. There's a lot happening. The tanks and the Thors are cleaned up. There's a lot more Mutalisks being made, by the way. You can see SpeCial's trying to bro in the moment when it's going to matter the most for this fight. But, you know, when you do this kind of play with Medivacs, you have to make sure that you're doing enough damage. Otherwise, the Medivacs never get out. And you're just hemorrhaging bits of your army.
Well, SpeCial's doing a ton of damage all over the place. A lot of drones have gone down. A lot of areas are not mining anymore. Oh, leaves a mine there as well.
Oh, the hatchery goes down.
Yeah, losing 2 hatcheries is rough. She's down to 4.
You know, every time Scarlett cleans up one mess, SpeCial started another. And this really begins to add up. I mean, we've had a lot of moments where Scarlett has probably taken too much damage. I think we're getting close to the point of this being fatal here.
She has a lot of mutas. That's got to count for something, right?
26 to
That
be
is
exact.
a serious amount of Mutalisks.
Yeah, sometimes when you have this Mutalisk wrecking ball, you can end up where you lose a lot of drones, you take a lot of damage, and then the action seesaws to the other side of the map. And suddenly, Terran does not have enough to actually take on a big air army like this.
Yeah, she's got to watch out for the Thor. She's got to watch out for the Widow Mines here. If it weren't for those two, I feel like she would crush through this army. But as is, it's like, I mean, your mutas can deal a ton of damage here. Okay, she actually dives on the Thor. Great pickup there from SpeCial. Brings back the Thor a bit. And the Marauders in the front, making it very hard for the Banelings.
Yeah, as long as the Marines are still here, there's enough DPS that it's very hard to deal with. Again, the presence of the Thor makes it really hard for these mutas to ever get in there and get a good engage. And you can see the Medivac always ready to pick up the Thor at the last second.
Oh, a lot of the Banelings connecting on those Marauders. A few decent connections there, but still mines in the back, making it very hard for Scarlett to get a good engage.
And from here, it seems like just barely Scarlett's hanging on, but, you know, one bad moment here, one Widow Mine connecting on these mutas, and there's going to be enough firepower that I just don't see any way to stop this army. You can see more and more reinforcements are gathering up. The Baneling count is getting smaller and smaller with each engage.
You know what? She got rid of all the mines there, and now she's starting to push everything back. Still has some Banelings here, so the Marines having a hard time stopping the mutas. Scarlett flying forward with these mutas as well, and look at that. She clears it, saving her 4th base.
That is some clutch play by Scarlett, driving this all the way back home, hitting the reset button really on this game. And remember, you know, the Marines, you can't get that many at once. I mean, this is so many mutas.
Getting on top of production.
Yes, exactly. She's going to be on top of production. And this means every Marine that comes out will get a few shots off before being shot down and killed.
Yeah, definitely getting some value with these mutas now, even picking off the Widow Mines, which is so important here. You cannot let that splash hit your mutas.
This is the StarCraft equivalent of when the X-Wing shoots down the center of the Death Star here.
Yeah. Oh, the Thor
really
out
saving it here. But, you know, some more Lings. I mean, another Thor's a ways away.
Look at this, the Lings getting in, trying to take out this turret right now, does take it out, starting to pick off some SCVs. Let's not forget, SpeCial has a lot of bases, so if he can hold on, maybe he fights back here.
The armory goes down as well. Scarlett seems to be shying away from giving too much attention to the main now. These Marines, they're high enough in number that I think she's going to have to respect that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the Mutila's harassment's pretty much over now. Let's take a look. Let's take a count of where we're at, right? 3-3 upgrades on both sides. 2-1 for those Mutas. Wow, no wonder they're so strong. +3 on the way. Both sides starting to rebuild their economy a little bit. The thing is, SpeCial had 5 bases during this. So that's pretty big for Terran.
Yeah, it was a funny moment because she went all the way back there and was hitting the source of all the, all the units that are being produced. But yeah, SpeCial has like as much of the map as Scarlett does. He's really making bank right now.
Yeah. Well, I think that was the best move she could make, right? Because, like, if he can just remake an army out of that and is left alone, even if you kill a base or two of his next army's going to walk out and deal some serious damage. So I think it was a great move. It was very hard to break that push at her 4th, but she did it. She chased him down. She got herself back into this. But now SpeCial's coming again.
Okay, good catcher by Scarlett. Free win there. SpeCial seems to have ambitions to try to take out this lower right base, but this is far enough away from everything else that maybe Scarlett can actually trap this army down here, kill it, and try to look for a fight somewhere else. As far as big picture goes, we do have to point out SpeCial is nearly maxed out. Scarlett is really making a lot happen with a little.
Well, she's re-droned up at this point. She's trying to buy time with the Mutas. I think it's a great type of play, right? Like, if you can let your economy build a little bit, get that Ultralisk Cavern up, and spend your money elsewhere, not just pumping, Ling Bane the whole time, it's definitely going to pay off. But it's a tightrope that she's walking right now. It's a strong, strong army that SpeCial has out. As she's adding in those Ultras, I feel like hope is being restored.
SpeCial's coming in here for another attack. And there's been a pretty good minefield laid down here. You'll see this oftentimes with Terrans. They set up their splash around these kind of arcing ridges.
Yeah. It'll be very hard to deal with that.
Yep, good pickup there, but SpeCial just going to rotate to another spot, maybe even in the main here.
Yeah, looks like it. Ultras are out right now. Very Baneling heavy. Chitinous plating is not quite done, so this is not ideal, but it feels like Scarlett does have to get in there a little bit. Ooh, good Banelings.
This hatch, about a 3rd HP. Scarlett has enough Ultras now, though. I think she could just take this fight all the way to the army.
Oh, that
man.
mine hit. That had to be targeted.
I think so. SpeCial splitting his army up now. Oh, man, there's so much damage being done over here. I think as exciting as it is that Scarlett won that battle at the bottom, she may end up losing the war here because of what's happening at the very top part of the map here. 2 big attacks, both doing a piercing amount of damage, but Scarlett is just taking this all the way to SpeCial. We're almost to production now. The Spire has been sniped.
The Spire getting sniped is so painful. I had +2 carapace halfway done for these Mutas,
Dude,
but
the
game is looking like it's might be even wrapping up here.
Yeah, I think so. Well, hold on a second. I mean, this is enough Mutas with the Ultras, with the Banes. I think that you end up taking out the Terran's production and everything else falls into place. I have to imagine Scarlett has enough to hold off the push that's happening on her side of the map, right?
Well, she just lost 2 hatcheries to it, so let's not be entirely sure about that right now. It's still pushing around a little bit. Looks like he's going to start to fall back.
I think Scarlett won.
I think you're right.
Yeah, this is a pretty crazy win here.
A miraculous game.
This is just something else, man.
Well, Scarlett really showing what she's made of here. Seriously.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I mean, look, all SpeCial can do. Yeah, there's no way he's going to get his army over there. This is it. This is game. What a technical takedown. Damn.
Beautifully, beautifully done. SpeCial still microing his heart out. He's got a little bit of Bjorn in him.
Yeah, that's it. This is the death throes of SpeCial here in Game 2. I can't believe it. We're going to go to Game 3. GG.
Sick game. Really great recovery from Scarlett. She took a lot of drone damage early on. Her upgrades were much slower than SpeCial's. Things were not going right, but she kind of showed what we were talking about, right? If she can get into these late game scenarios where she's not 100% dead, she plays very well.
That was a crazy game. You know, it's exciting and fun for us to see, but we also, in that camera shot of the two players, we saw Scarlett shaking her head. That is also not the way you want to have won.
Yeah,
well,
you know.
epic, but you know, there was a lot of bumps in the road there.
Well, she knows she could have gone 0-2 right there very easily.
Sure, yeah.
Very easily.
A narrow victory. We're going to the last game for these two players. One will be eliminated, the first player out of the round of 16. SpeCial and Scarlett, the only two non-Korean players. It's hard to get more non-Koreans here with the pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
So
Sure.
it's unfortunate we're having some cannibalism here in this group. Game 3 is now ready. Pillars of Gold is our map. Let's do this. SpeCial versus Scarlett, the final match.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해 볼까? 스페셜 후안 로페스. 브레이브스타 게이밍 스칼렛, 사샤 호스틴.
All right. I'm hoping that we can have another epic macro game here.
I think we will. We
so.
didn't have any barracks thrown down in the middle of the map.
That's a relief.
These two players have been very good friends for a long time, so they really know, how each other think.
Yeah, for sure.
A big part of StarCraft isn't just playing and getting good mechanically. It's having a lot of theory and kind of trying to understand what you're doing and why, and the ins and outs of that. So we've said this before, but I think it rings true here as well, is there's a lot of mind games we can't even fully follow for how well these players know each other.
Oh, of course, yeah. That's definitely the fact.
What a weird win that was in Game 2. Usually StarCraft games, StarCraft 1 or 2, are won because you killed the last base that mattered.
Yeah.
And for people that really don't play and don't know, the game that well at all, a lot of times the losses seem confusing, right? Because you'll see a fight happen, and then, I've had people say, well, they still had all those bases, right? I mean, why would they leave then? And you think, oh, okay, yeah, you don't see. They know that at that point in time they're not going to have the money to ever fund their way out of a problem, And so when that last base is killed, and you can see, based off experience, there's just no way to get another base up, the game's going to snowball. That's why we never see them destroy all the buildings to win. Or very rarely. We occasionally have that.
It has to be a very strange circumstance.
But that victory back there was special because, or was unique, I should say, just so it's not misleading with this guy's ID, was unique because Scarlett was just literally on top of every last production building with enough units that even though SpeCial had other bases mining, it didn't matter because he couldn't make anything.
Yeah, and that's unique to Terran, right? Because Zerg hatcheries would be spread out, so you can always kind of make some units.
Right.
Protoss can warp in, so you can kind of just warp in a different location even if they're near your gates. Whereas with Terran, it's like, well, you never really spread out your production. Occasionally you see like a factory at a third base or a couple barracks as part of a wall. But it's like your production's all together, your units are terrible alone. So this area is sacred. If anyone's in here, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
And that's why you can see victories like that occasionally pop up from Zerg. More oftentimes, it would be like a warp prism where, as your Marines pop out, Zealots are killing them, right?
Yeah.
And that can be a frustrating way to lose because it's like, well, you have all these bases, you're doing all these other things well, but suddenly your production is screwed up, and what can you do from there?
Another example of this that could happen to Zergs is you'll see someone come in there and just kill the hive and all the tech buildings.
Yeah, it does happen.
It happens on Golden Wall sometimes.
Yeah,
almost happened to Scarlett versus TY, yeah.
Pretty much.
But that's one of those moments where because the tech has all been reset, it's the Zerg can never get back to the level of sophistication that the Terran has army-wise. So these are some other much less common ways that games are won or lost.
Well, right now, this is a BC rush from SpeCial, but as he sees the roaches coming out, BCs take too long, so making a Banshee here. Try to push back this little roach push. How many roaches is it exactly? Do you know?
I didn't see. But this is a cool play here.
Well, with the Banshee coming out, I can't imagine it really doing much. Look, the bunker's going to be finishing. Yeah, it's like, what are you really going to get here? Maybe you get a couple SCVs, maybe you get a depot, but it's not going to do critical damage, that's for sure.
Right. So they're going to turn around. Zerg drones up behind us. And now the battlecruiser can be started. Because the Banshee is what is made to try to mute the pressure coming from the Zerg. But I don't know how much this really trips up SpeCial, to be honest. I actually just don't. I mean, I think he's still going to get his BC out.
Yeah. No, I think he's happy with what's happened. You want Zerg to have all these roaches and Ravagers that aren't really doing much.
Yeah.
Oh, 7 drones right there. Don't forget there's a BC on the way.
Okay, but we got a Ling run by. Oh, she actually could have gotten up there, but she second-guessed herself there. And now we have some more SCVs that are going to be killed here. Actually, only 2. Less than I thought.
The Hellions still roaming about. BC's about to pop out.
Once again, the Hellions can come through. Are there going to be stray drones that can be picked off? It looks like there will be.
Or just straight up a mineral patch. Oh, man.
8 drones
8
killed.
more, yeah. How many have actually died so far this game? Oh, look at that.
Uh-oh.
Oh, actually, great biles.
Yeah, that's actually pretty sick.
Yeah. Kind of, maybe he just hit it there and didn't realize.
We basically never get to see battlecruisers picked off. I thought maybe we'd have a chance for it here, but it seems like now SpeCial's moved this up to this area in the main, and he didn't do that much with it, but as we go big picture now, it's 9 drones are killed.
Yeah. Definitely a lot of drone damage has occurred to Scarlett, but she's droned right back up. The BC didn't do nearly as much as it wanted to due to those biles, but picking off some Overlords, doing a little bit of damage here and there. Good stuff.
Yeah, we have the Banshee. Just trying to make sure that no base is taken right in that spot over there. You'll instantly gun down the drone. Now, Scarlett is actually expanding to the bottom right corner. I don't know if that's what she wanted to do all along, or if this is actually an answer to a response to the Banshee that was on patrol.
Yeah, I'm not sure, actually. It's a good point. Certainly not an answer to the battlecruiser, which can teleport anywhere.
Yeah.
All right, well, she has a +1 range on the way along with the Carapace. So it makes me wonder, like, is this just going to be a roach play? Because this is bio. A lot of times SpeCial does like to go into mech, but this comes back to those... I guess she actually did scout an upgrading tech lab on the barracks, but that doesn't always mean something, right? There's a lot of trickery that can occur. It's just this composition against SpeCial's bio play... I guess we did see DRG beat SpeCial with this, right? SpeCial kind of did an attack, and there was enough roaches to hold, and then the counter ended up killing SpeCial.
Yeah, that was one of the weirder games that we had.
But this game, I see a second factory on the way. So I see that, and it's like, a lot of siege tanks are going to do well.
We're in the most critical point of the game here for Scarlett. It's the Zerg getting the 4th base up. You have to know there's going to be a push around the corner. +1 attack and armor just finished for infantry for SpeCial. So now we got to see, you know, is Scarlett equipped? Can she fend this off? Usually if Scarlett gets past this phase of the game without too much damage, I mean, then she can usually crush through. The problem is SpeCial is one of these Terrans that's, like, I mean, he plays a lot, man. He puts in a lot of games. His mechanics is really good.
Yeah.
You know, he almost always trades efficiently.
By the way, I'm really not sure what Scarlett's doing now. She has Roach Ravager out.
11 mutas.
Yeah, making 11 mutas, but also the Hydralisk Den just finished. So that's like everything except Baneling speed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the mutas come in to fight this BC a bit.
And this is just not going to do anything. So jumping away.
A lurker den.
Oh, that's cool.
That is interesting. Okay, so we're going... We went Roach Ravager into Mutas, into Lurkers. Huh. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm looking at. I mean, I'm naming things that I see on the production tab. Don't mistake that for me in knowing and having seen this before. It's a scary push that's coming up right now.
Good catch there. Takes out that tank. And here we go. This is at least this is the climax of the game, at least for now here. The push on the 4th. Scarlett is taking her 5th.
See if she can get some good vials down. No. Just throws those out, kind of zones the Marines out for a moment. Oh, the Muta's coming back for a bit of a flank. Going to be able to pick off this siege tank, which is actually a pretty good kill.
Yeah, if she gets the tank here, then these Marines are, nowhere near as strong. But the hatchery could go down.
Yeah, the hatchery is definitely going to fall. But, I mean, this is not as much end of the world as sometimes losing that 4th is, right?
Right. Wow. Okay, so she drives most of the Terran army out.
Yeah.
But she lost her hatchery. So
yeah,
there's a little bit of trading here. I mean, ideally for the Zerg, you save the hatch, you kill the army. Ideally for the Terran, you kill the... Well, you just end the game there, basically. So Scarlett, she has a backup base. This was supposed to be her 5th, but now it's her new 4th base. But Terran is not finished yet. SpeCial wants to keep moving. SpeCial wants to try to get a closer here. And he's setting it up pretty nicely. Again, denying that other 4th base. The remake, the sequel.
Yeah. She needs to make sure she doesn't lose this 4th base that SpeCial's pushing into right now. And yeah, she has more than enough right there.
Yeah, she's got a pretty ridiculously big army here.
Yeah. Now, she's getting to Lurkers. I look at this position just standalone, right? And it feels better for SpeCial right now. But the fact that her hive is about to finish and he's not at her front door, if you can get into Lurker Viper, I think a player like Scarlett can really utilize that to great effect and great cost efficiency.
Now remember, that first push, it succeeded in denying that base, and I don't think SpeCial lost that much of the army. Like this infantry here, a lot of this is from earlier. A new push is coming out here. I think there's 4 tanks total.
Yeah.
And so this is really where Scarlett needs to not die.
Yes.
Because if she loses here, I think she loses the game.
She can actually bile those down, I think.
I agree.
Yeah, look at this. All right, pushes forward. We see a bunch of biles get shot out. Okay, it looks like only 1 siege tank left, so it's going to be hard to break through those lurkers now.
Scarlett diving on the battlecruiser. SpeCial needs to warp that away if he can.
Yeah, it might be used up already. Oh my gosh. BC continues to gain value. SpeCial's army backing up. So yeah, we're getting into this phase now, right? We have the Viper's finally now on the way. SpeCial's trying to get some harassment done. Scarlett as well.
Yeah, now SpeCial's decided to not try to push that 4th, instead going to drop here in the main. And he's looking for a place to push through here, but I start to feel like, once this drop here is cleaned up, SpeCial's not really doing that much damage anywhere, is he? I mean, Scarlett's now back up to 5 bases. Seems like that center-left base is going to be fine.
Yeah, like, I think that the power of SpeCial here is mostly that he's building his siege tank force. But as the Vipers get charged up, right, like, I mean, he's still getting some stuff done.
The Mutas are still cleaning up, doing a pretty nice job here. Oh my God, SpeCial targets down the hatchery.
All right,
that's
good,
pretty
strong
big.
Kill. Good, strong kill. But
did SpeCial overextend here? I don't know. He won that fight, but he gave up a lot.
Yeah, he's doing damage, but he has not won the war yet, because Scarlett now is finally into this kind of final tech that we were talking about before. Some Zerg players play with like a Lurker Viper type style against Terran. Blinding Cloud and Abduct, of course, both very, very strong. So as she continues to finish up those upgrades and build that composition, it's like, okay, again, it looks like SpeCial has done a lot of good things and is probably winning, But the cost efficiency is still pretty good for Scarlett here.
It's a funny thing when you see armies sacrifice to dive on a hatchery or command center or nexus, because almost always you end up getting the kill, right? But then, you know, you didn't trade anything, right? So Scarlett still has a decent army.
Yeah, do you have that base, that core of your army still alive? That can be a lot of value for you, that maybe more so than an expansion.
A drop comes in here and a push down here at the 5th.
Yeah, the Vipers actually went towards the main base. So without Vipers here, this is actually a little bit difficult. Okay, if Viper does fly up here,
wow,
those
just
lurkers.
Completely shuts this down. Great play here. Now, I think Scarlett is she's kind of cleaning up everywhere.
This BC is getting stupid at this point.
I know, this is getting a little bit ridiculous.
I actually can't believe that this BC is still here, still doing this. It's like 4 denials on this hatchery now.
Let's just keep the camera here. This is,
oh my God, yeah. It's gonna kill it.
Yeah, that's it. How annoying.
That one BC. So many problems have been caused.
Now, the lurkers are good if you can harpoon the tanks into the... Well, there's that as well, I guess.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, SpeCial's done a decent job, but he hasn't really stopped Scarlett. He's just slowed her down, you know? Okay, 3 more tanks down here, harpooning the Ghost now.
Well, anything you can abduct, it is gaining value for you.
Right.
And she does need to gain value, right? Of course, Blinding Clouds can be really useful here as well.
Okay, so, yeah, I mean, SpeCial has, like, kind of a dinky army that he's moving around with. It's not that strong, but it is in some ways getting the job done. If SpeCial could keep Scarlett contained and basically not allow Scarlett to take the 2 bottom right bases that we saw she was trying to get earlier, that's another way to win this.
Yeah. You can see that SpeCial is kind of all over the place right now, which is a great way to play against this type of spellcaster siege army.
Even one Reaper there for a second. Did you see that?
Oh. A lot of damage being dealt on both sides, really. Scarlett just needs to kind of shut this all down and get a little bit of breathing room. See the energy getting very low here. There are EMPs coming out. Yeah, beautiful EMPs there. Just be careful about not killing buildings with their own Vipers at this point.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Again, it seems like always Scarlett just barely has enough, but you know, if this game continues on and it continues to look like this, where it's Scarlett just barely not dying on the bases she has, she's never stopped Terran from outgrowing her. That's the real concern here.
Because she needs to shut this down, have breathing room for a moment, kind of get everything in line. And the thing is, she's still being pretty efficient because SpeCial is mining a hell of a lot right now, but Scarlett is staying maxed out, is keeping alive, but she is going to need to take more bases. And she needs SpeCial to chill if she's going to do that. Look at that BC.
Are we ever going to get the closure we needed
here? Get away, BC!
Ah!
Oh.
Yes.
Well, it did its job, that's for sure.
Yep.
18 minutes in, it finally goes down.
Oh, great EMP.
That EMP, insanity.
She's got to be careful. She started to...
Yeah, you're going to have to start splitting those up.
Yeah.
Because that's just too brutal. Imagine if you have just a few spells right now. Like, 2 Blinding Clouds. Oh my God, amazing.
Well, that play might be what allows SpeCial to close this out.
It might be. It was a huge
Because now
EMP.
the siege tanks are too much of a threat. There's no Ravagers here to try to peg the tanks from a distance.
All right, coming back right now. See if any spells can get cast.
Yeah, is it too little too late, though?
Another EMP. Huge EMP.
Damn, yeah, good call there. More and more tanks are coming here. I've lost count of how many times the bottom right base has been taken, but it's up again. So, problem is now these tanks can start to pelt the hatchery.
Yeah, look at this. She's frantically trying to get energy on these Vipers because that is the counter to these siege tanks. The siege tanks are just gaining a huge amount of value. The Ghosts with those enhanced shockwaves having such an easy time of eliminating the energy on the Vipers.
Oh, the damage those Hydras had to eat as they try to come up here to cover this other base.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, there were some Roaches doing damage like we saw earlier. I don't know if that's going to be cleaned up or saved. I'm not even sure, actually, if Scarlett's aware of the presence of the upper left base. I don't know. Like this base here,
Yeah.
I have no idea if she even knows about
She
that.
probably like assumes that
Yeah.
he has at least one more base at this point because that's
Suspects
his
it's
caliber. All right, she's getting some good abducts off. Gotta be careful about that EMP though.
Yeah, there's still a ghost in with this army.
Yeah, another EMP goes down.
Oh, the EMP is
Yeah, there's no lurkers here either. This might be the end for Scarlett.
GG. SpeCial takes it with EMP after EMP after EMP. Scarlett had the tools necessary to stop the push, but didn't have, wasn't able to use them to defend because the EMPs kept muting the Vipers. No abducts allowed. And Scarlett wins, I'm sorry, SpeCial wins, and so now we're going to have TVT.
Well, Scarlett put out some great games tonight. Unfortunately, not quite enough. Well, we'll see her next season, no doubt.
We have our final match coming up, SpeCial versus TY, to see who gets out second to the round of 16. Don't go away. We will be right back.